Good afternoon. I've made quite a journey down to County Mayo, and I'm actually in the famous Doo Lough, a very famous mountain pass in Ireland. Absolutely stunning here with big mountains either side. And the plan for this weekend is to head up there, which is the start of the Sheeffry Hills, which head away to the east. And once I get up on the top, I'm going to camp up there this evening and then follow the length of the mountains eastward, and then drop down and follow some really cool corrie lochs to the north. And I'm going to camp up one of those for a second night. So I'm going to spend 2 nights here in the Sheeffry Hills. That's a plan. It doesn't always go according to, but we'll see. It's pretty much straight up from the loch way down below, so there's no easy walk in here. It's just up and up. So I've joined on to the northwest ridge of Barraclashcame, and I'm actually heading up to the northwest top, which is 580 metres, and I'm not far off that. That's the top up there, if you can see it, of Barraclashcame. That's about 770 metres, and it's actually clear. Wow. That's where I'm intending to bivvy tonight, so if it stays clear, that would be super cool. That's the Wheelwray Mountains over there, and you can see there's just a big cut off level of cloud there. I don't know, that's probably 650 metres, but there's those really cool rays of sun coming down and touching Doo Lough down below, which is cool and keeping me entertained on the slog up here. As you can see, the mist hasn't lifted, it's actually dropped down. So my plan of climbing up and camping on the top of Barraclashcame is maybe not going to happen. I'm quite content up here on the northwest top. I'm below the clag and the cloud, and I've got this really cool view out over to the coast past Wheelwray, and just some hints of the sun as it's starting to drop down. And there's a really keen breeze as well coming from the east, and just where I'm at here there's a wee bit of shelter, so perfect for setting up the bivvy. As usual, I have a tent and a bivvy, and I think the conditions are just right for the bivvy. It's dry, the ground's really dry as well. There's been a week of really warm, settled, sunny weather, which obviously just ends at the weekend whenever I finish work and come out. But hey, that's just the breaks you get. You can see that I've cut my thumb, so I don't even know how I did it. I just noticed it, as you do sometimes. It was maybe on the tin of tuna that I have, so quite a bit of blood coming out of it, and I've tried sort of clean it with a bit of water, but I think the key is probably just to let it clot up. No big deal, I don't think, though I don't usually carry a first aid kit, and that's something that even maybe carrying a couple of plasters might be something I might look into doing for future trips. It's nearly dark, and that's just when the mist lifted off the tops. Wouldn't you know it? So you can see behind me Barraclashcame, and that's where my original plan was to go up and bivvy up there. Though I think I'm happy with my decision to bivvy here in the northwest top, which is probably what, about 150 metres lower, but it has got the shelter. I did go down to the call because I had spotted a wee pool of water, and the wind there would have went through you. So I'm happy enough, and there's nice views here. You can see it's lifted off the top of Wheelwray as well, so all good. And the wee pool of water was cool because I only brought 2 litres of water with me. There's no water source up here in the northwest top, and that has allowed me to think about brewing up some more tea before I hunker down for the night. So yeah, it's a lovely evening. Just about perfect actually. Well, unless there's a wee bit more sunshine, that would be cool. But I'm definitely not complaining. It's 8:30, so I think it's about time to get down into the bivvy. It's pretty much pitch black. Still a lovely evening, lovely and sheltered here, hardly a breeze, no midges. Cloud is still staying off the tops of the tops. I am a wee bit paranoid about lights on the hills because I've been reading numerous things about people reporting lights in the hills and then the mountain rescue getting called out and all that. So I am paranoid about it. I suppose especially places maybe like here, where I'm assuming it mightn't be as often. You know, somewhere like the Mourns where there's quite a bit of wild camping and stuff going on. I think that would be a wee bit different, so I'm just very mindful of that. But hopefully I got a good night's sleep. I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so tomorrow is walking along the length of the Sheeffrys and then dropping down off and walking up along the corries to the north to camp at one of the corrie lochs. That's the plan. Again, the plan may change. It changed this evening, and that's okay as well, just depending on how things are and weather conditions and that. So good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's been blowing an absolute hoolie all morning, and literally just a few minutes ago the wind just suddenly stopped, and just died away down. And it's actually so much warmer now. I had to put my waterproof jacket on. It was that cold. So last night was like a tale of two halves. The first part of the night was absolutely stunning. The clouds started to clear. I could see the stars. There's been a big full harvest moon the past few days, and there's still a good bit of it, and it started to rise away to the east. So I saw that coming up, and I was watching a couple of people coming down off Wheelray down to the big coombe, and I could see the lights of their head torches, and I slept well, so that was all good. So the second half was wind and rain, so it must have rained for about 3 or 4 hours, and so it was quite heavy, and that was just not pleasant at all, and I don't think I had much sleep, and my sleeping gear has got a bit damp, not wet, I would say damp. Though hopefully if it continues to clear and dry today, I'll get that sorted, and it'll be grand for my camp tonight. There's a really nice wee pull up from the col of the northwest top to the top of Barraclashcame. Quite steep, rocky path with scree, and I've only ever been in that northwest top once before, and it was probably 15-20 years ago, and I had dropped down from the summit. This is my younger and fitter days, and near enough ran over to the northwest top and then back up. So it's cool to come back up that way again. My outdoor active, so sometimes if I'm camping overnight I'll pause it just so it stops overnight. I did that last night and it's been playing up this morning, so I don't think it likes being paused for any length of time. So what I've actually had to do is stop it and save the first part of the track and start a new part, which is a bit annoying. Tonight I'll keep it running and I'll see if that makes any difference for tomorrow. Real pea super up here. I thought it was going to clear. There was a wee hint of sun coming through up in the summit of Barraclashcame, but it just didn't happen. Actually waited about a wee bit as well just to see if it would clear, but nope. So I've been over the summit of Barraclashcame and I'm up at the summit of Lough at 762 metres, and it's got a trig pillar. So just following on along the line of the Sheeffry to the east and just gradually dropping down. The pea soup has got even thicker. I wouldn't mind a pot of pea soup at the minute. So I've reached the top of Lough at 742 metres, and that's the last of the high tops before at quite a big drop down. Nearly tempted to drop off here and follow that river down to Lugaloughaun. It looks like a really cool wee way down, a steep drop off, but following the river looks pretty cool as well. And that's the steep drop off Lough. Though I think I'm sticking with the plan of going up Lough East Top, dropping down and then climbing Tony Roar, which is the last hill along the line of Sheeffry's. That's Lugaloughaun. I've never been down that before. So the western way drops down and skirts its eastern side, and I can either skirt the eastern side or skirt around the western side, because I'm heading then up over that shoulder, up towards the other corrie loch that I passed earlier. The last big climb of the day. So this is the summit of Tony Roar. So that's the whole line of the Sheeffry's from west to east completed. And I'll drop down to the loch. I don't know if you can see the other loch slightly higher up. That's potentially where I'm going to camp tonight, if I've enough time. Isn't this absolutely stunning? Wow. And today, definitely lower down has more of the wow factor than up above with all that mist and low cloud. Loads of fish rising in the loch. And I forgot to say, on the way down from Tony Roar, I saw two people. I saw two people. I thought it was like a mirage from not drinking enough today. But they were coming up along the loch and heading up over the pass of the western way. So I don't know if they're walking the western way or what they're doing. But it's not that often you see people out here. And I suppose it just brings it into focus of just like how remote it is and how quiet it is as well. I've pushed on to get up to the second higher loch just to see if there was maybe a wee bit of a breeze. It was absolutely still down at the big corrie loch down there, and the goal isn't too far away, thank goodness. A good choice, I think, to come up to the second loch. There is the weeest hint of a breeze, just a wee bit extra height, and I think it's a better place to camp and pitch. There is a beach, stones. You could probably hold the World Championship skimming competition up here, I would think. And look at that loch. There's hardly a ripple on it. Now I do have the sheep choir with me, which is echoing up around this big combe. I've just spent about 10 or 15 minutes drinking a cup of tea and standing in the absolute pitch black. And you can see the whole of the loch. You can see the shoulder of the mountain going up, and you can hear there's two rivers nearby, and you can hear a river away on up the water coming down the waterfalls. Just so peaceful and relaxing. I did notice a pair of eyes that were watching me, and they sort of moved around, so I'm pretty sure that's a fox, and the paranoid head has come on. And I know it was years ago when that rambling on about this, it happened years ago, when the fox moved my pack, and literally when I buried it with stones a foot away from the bivvy, it was over digging at it with me like a foot away in the bivvy. So what I've done, I've put rocks on the top of my rucksack. I've even taken my car keys out of the rucksack just in case. You know, matchmaking in the morning, your rucksack's totally vanished and your car keys are on it. But probably, you know, obviously I'm in the fox territory, so why wouldn't it be scoping me out? You know what I mean? But leave my pack alone. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning down in here. And hopefully tonight will be different from last night, where we had all that rain and wind, which is really unpleasant, and there's still a wee bit of dampness in some of the gear. But I'm looking forward to getting down here for the night and hopefully getting a good night's sleep. So I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Okay, last update before bed. I've been sweeping the torch around on full beam to try and see the fox eyes. I'm not seeing them, but I went down to the edge of the loch, and the beam picked out all the eyes of loads of wee fish just sitting in the water, which was really, really cool. And while I was doing that, a bat just flew like 2 feet in front of me, just a few feet off the ground as well. So that's a cool thing to take to sleep with me. Right, good night. Good morning from the very sunny Sheeffry Hills in Mayo. Definitely not. There's that much moisture in the air, you actually think it's raining as the droplets of water are moving through the air. Though it is quite cool watching the clouds sort of move around the hillsides. Though a wee bit of sunshine wouldn't go amiss, definitely not. I had quite a good night in the bivvy. It stayed dry, there was a nice wee breeze, so there was no issues with midges or anything, and I do think I had a good bit of sleep. I did say last night about the bat, so there was actually 2 or 3 bats just skimming along the top of the loch, and through the light of the head torch there was all sorts of flying things going on, so you can see that they obviously were getting well fed. So that was something really, really cool to see last night. This beach, I have to say, probably has the most sheep poo on it of any beach in the world. And if I'm just thinking about the Sheeffry Hills, their form and shape is really cool, but they must be one of the most overgrazed sets of hills that I've ever walked on in Ireland. You know, just even in terms of variety of plant life and colour and wildflowers, I've literally seen none through my traverse over the Sheeffry Hills. Again, I keep saying it, hopefully these things will change as government policy changes. The plan this morning is to go down alongside the loch and contour around the sides of these corries. And there's another Lough Brawn, and it's sitting up at 500 metres, so I'm going to climb up the it along the river. And then there's a steep ridge that'll take me back up in the plateau near Tivnamura at over 700 metres. So I think that's a climbable ridge, looking at it on the map, though it'll be a steep one. So that's a plan for today. It's been pretty easy contouring around the northern side of the Sheeffrys up from the loch I was at last night, past a number of wee rivers and streams. It has been unrelentingly claggy. There's been drizzle. It's cool. The ground, it's just so wet. You can see my boots. They're still dry, though I don't know for how long. They've been holding up really well. So this is the Bunnawain River, and I'm going to follow this up to Lough Brawn, about just over 500 metres. And I'm looking forward to my 2 remaining cheese and tomato sandwiches, which have been sitting squashed in my bag for 2 days. So they'll taste good no matter what. This is Lough Brawn, 520 metres, and the third and final of the northern corrie lochs that I'm visiting. I think there only is a 3, unless someone tells me any different. And it was really cool walking up along the river, just that sound of the water flowing as I climbed up. And this is one of those scenes, like with a mist over the water, that you maybe expect something just to rise out of the loch. And the water here is really clear, which I wouldn't doubt up at this height. I'm climbing pretty much straight up from the back of Lough Brawn, up around the edge of the combe to reach a ridge on up, probably another couple of 100 feet on up. That'll take me up on the top, hopefully. There's just a wee break there where hopefully you can see the loch just as the mist cleared. You know what, apart from that being a tight wee pull up from the loch, not too bad. And the ridge here, once you get on it, nice and easy. Back at the trig point on Taobh na Mura, which interestingly mountainviews.ie has as 759.6 metres, and the true top further west at 760.3 metres. So what's that, a 0.7 metre difference? So it shows you it pays to consult some of those databases and resources that are unrivaled in terms of knowledge about the mountains and hills of Ireland. I'm on this cracking ridge between Barraclashcame and Taobh na Mura, and it's such a cool ridge. I'll see if I can pull a wee bit of video from the last time I was here, just so you can actually see what it's like. Back on this wee arete that connects Barraclashcame and Taobh na Mura. There's a wee bit of a clearance in the mist where I can sort of see down to the valley floor, way far below. I've been keeping the GoPro inside my fleece, and it's toasty and warm, no issues with the battery turning off, and with the outdoor active. I kept that running last night, and it's been running grand today. So the lesson there, I suppose, is not to have long pauses where it starts to play up. the cars just about a 100-metre drop in front of me, parked down on the road there in Doo Lough. As you can see, it's an absolutely stunning place, absolutely stunning. And the clouds are just gently rising up over the big summits, still not clear. So that was a walk of about 43 kilometres with about, I think about 1,800 feet maybe of climbing. Really good 2 nights stroke 3 days down here in Mayo, traversing the Sheeffry Hills west to east and then east to west back, though part contouring then around the northern corries and visiting those really cool 3 corrie lochs. And that camp last night at the corrie loch was a really fantastic place. The northwest top was pretty good too. Weather wasn't great, didn't really have the views at all, which was fairly disappointing, to be honest, though it made up for it in so many other ways. We just had to focus on what was in front of you and sort of brought your attention a lot closer instead of those big grand majestic views. And then when you did get some views when you dropped down, they were even more worth it. So a really cool trip, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.